This is a video that I was in two minds whether to make or not. I didn't know whether it would be good for the channel. I'm not sure it's the sort of thing you should put out there, certainly after doing this for 3 years, but I just felt that this is something that had to be done, studied, proven with scripture. And this, what this channel is all about, is just looking for the truth, really, and that's it, via scripture. It is there, you know. But there's so much noise out there, isn't there? And what happens is a lot of rumors or buzzwords suddenly become folklore and fairy tales, and then next thing you know, they become fact, don't they? Very quickly. And anybody that says anything different to what the general consensus is out there, you know, it's not accepted, is it? But we need to get back to basics and look at the scripture. There's a lot of things out there that we seem to accept as being correct, and it isn't correct, isn't it? So that's what this video is all about. And the thing is, this Daniel 9:24-27, I didn't realize, it's just like the Olivet Discourse. It is so, as you can see from the cross references, it is such a focal point in the Bible. It's hidden in there, isn't it? But for those that find it, you realize that there's just so much stuff comes off it. There's lots of offshoots that go to different parts of Daniel where he repeats himself earlier and later as well. We'll go into that, and it's quite frightening what you find out, and it does lead you to have a bit of a revelation, really, about the end times and Bible prophecy and the times that we're in now. Before I start, I'm going to say that this is going to be a series of videos, but this video carries a warning. It could have a fundamental impact on your views on end times, the last days, the timeline, the whole thing. It could have a fundamental impact. It could have an impact on your views on the tribulation. It could have an impact on your views on the rapture, and many other things that are mentioned in Mystery Babylon, all this stuff, yeah, and also some of the prophecies that are mentioned. You got to realize that Isaiah, Jeremiah, Daniel, the list goes on. Where was the prophecies coming from? They were coming from the Lord, weren't they? It's coming from the same source. So they're all pretty much saying the same thing. And I know there'll be people out there disagree on this stuff, but leave it in the comments below. But certainly you'll be compelled to leave a comment on that after watching it. Yeah, not this one, but the next one, part 2, and we'll go into it. I'm going to have to break it down into smaller chunks because it's such a mammoth task, because this, I wouldn't say revelation, but it has been pointed out by other people in the past, so you may be aware of it. Some people may be aware of this and think, well, I know this, you know. I'm starting to lean, after sort of discovering this only recently, and I've noticed that in my spirit, I've noticed my views have changed about the end times news and all the rest of it. And after seeing that, the last couple of days, I realise why now. You know, it's there in scripture, and that's what I'm saying. What I'm going to do is prove this with scripture, yeah. And then you'll realise, because what happens is, if all the other prophets are saying exactly the same thing but just in a different way, and it's coming from the same source, then it'll be backed up a number of times. It's designed to stimulate debates. I know there's certain people out there that don't like me. I know there's certain people that do like me. I'd like to hear both your views. I like to be challenged. And this is to the finger wavers, the correctionists, the Yahshuans, as I call them. This is to you people that not that keen on Christians or whatever it is, or even to the world. What do you think? To Bible scholars, theologians, university lecturers. I know you're all out there. But one thing I've got to say, this is coming from the Spirit. It's not coming from sort of reading the Bible and think, yes, if you put this here and this cross-reference there, da-di-da-di-da, mechanically going through it. Only the Spirit can show you what's in the Bible, isn't it? And this is coming from the Spirit. And it's a bit worrying, really, to be perfectly honest, because it's going to change your perception about the times we're in now. There's a hint for you. It's going to change your perception. Basically, I would say there's some fundamental things that are out there that I would say are flawed, that we accept as being correct and as being the sort of the narrative for the end times timeline. When you get into it, I just don't think these things are correct. They're not. You know, and my spirit is definitely saying that these days, that some of these things, and we're going to go into that, you know, but ruffle a lot of people's feathers. Some of the stuff may make your hair stand on end. I don't know. Certainly, but there'll be a conclusion to this video, which will be I'll add a but section to it. You know, but there's this, and this. I can't really give too much away because what I'm doing is laying out the foundations and the actual structure of the video. And, you know, this is YouTube. People think, that's a good idea. I think I'll do the same thing. So I'm just keeping it rather vague, but it does revolve around Daniel 9, 24 to 27. Yeah, and particularly 25 to 27. And specifically Daniel 27. So I've seen something there. I'm not going to say what it is. So if you want to copy this video, you're going to have to read that yourself and look at the cross references, and you won't see it. But there's definitely something there that's only now, after 3 years, has leapt out at me, grabbed me by the throat, and I think, good grief. If that is the case, it's a bombshell. Let's put it that way. It's an end times bombshell, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But anyway, this video will be coming up in the next week. I'll try and get it out by Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. And like I said, I have to do it in chunks, in parts. And that's all I'm going to say at this moment in time. So how I'm going to finish up on this is, like I said, just an introduction. You're not learning anything here, but just to sort of pave the way for the second video. And there'll be a third, fourth, and fifth probably, I think. I'm going to read Daniel 9, 24 to 27. What I'm going to do is highlight the certain things that I've seen in there, and just with my voice. And I'll leave that for you to mull over, chew over, and maybe you'll see what I'm trying to get at just from that, but I doubt it. But it gives you something to work on. Maybe you can work on it yourself. So, Daniel 9, 24 to 27. Daniel 9, 24. 70 weeks are determined, 70, upon thy people and upon thy holy city, thy people, to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood. And unto the end of the war desolations are determined. War. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Anyway, this is Frank of the 12 Gates. Keep your eyes firmly fixed on the Lord. That's where you'll get your answers. But as always, peace, love, and joy.